Hi, this is Arun Srinivasa, and I am a faculty at Texas A&M University, and I am going to teach you something basic about how to learn geometry. I mean, so you don't have to actually know anything about geometry to learn it. So I'm hoping that you are somebody who is just curious about, what are the core ideas of geometry and so on. So if you are in eighth grade or ninth grade or something, what happens is you're thinking geometry means that there's a ruler, there are pens, for drawing, and there's you usually hang out um, uh, with a compass, and then you have to draw things, and there are all kinds of proofs. Actually, we are not going to do any of that. So take your ruler and compass and all of that and throw them away. What I want you to do is focus on just a couple of things. One is have some paper like so. So get some bunch of paper and some pen. Okay, preferably either a pencil or a pen like this. Those are the two things that will be extremely useful. And the third thing that might come out handy sometimes is to have a pair of scissors like so. Okay, that's all we're going to do. And we are going to learn geometry by doing. We are going to learn geometry by folding, starting from very basics. What is a line? What is a point? And all this stuff, all the way to fairly making some advanced stuff. And we are never going to do any kind of complex calculations or anything, or even compass and ruler. We are just going to fold only. So this way of doing geometry is extremely old, and I am trying to popularize this particular approach by somebody by the name of Mr. T. Sundar Rao. You can see it says T. Sundar Rao, and it was published in actually 1893, this book. And it's called Geometrical Exercises in Paper Folding. He was what is called a deputy collector, and he started all of this after he retired. It was published in my hometown, Madras, which is now called Chennai, and it was published by Addison and Co. in Mount Road, which is one of the major central thoroughfares in Chennai. And it is a beautiful book. It is still in print in Amazon if you want. But I want you to understand that it was written in 1893. So no photographs. It's very hard to even publish drawings, and definitely no video. So it is a very, very terse and difficult book to follow. Nevertheless, it has a beautiful idea of showing all the items of geometry by just folding. So this is the purpose of this particular exercise. I'm trying to now use advanced tools, basically video, to show you how to learn fundamentals of geometry. So all you need for this is some sheets of paper. So I hope you have that. And I hope you have some, some pens. That's all you need, really. Even pen is not necessary. It's just to make sure that you can highlight some of the things that we are drawing so that it's more visible to you. And a pair of scissors is again not necessary. You can share it with people if multiple of you are doing this. The reason for scissors is that sometimes it's easier to cut out a shape and see so that you can see. Okay, so enough of the preliminaries. Let's get started. So first item that I'm going to talk to you about is what's a line. So notice I'm going to first talk about what is a line. So in our case, it is a very simple idea. It is a fold or crease in a paper. That's what a line is. So what I mean by that is take a nice clean sheet of paper like so. It doesn't have to be white. It's just convenient. That's all. Take a clean sheet of paper, fold it any way you like so. And what you get is a line. So there's a line. If you want to see the line very clearly, you can take a pen like this and mark it along the edge like so. See, that's a line. And believe me, the idea of a line is that it extends forever. So what it is that it doesn't end here. You can see it keeps going on either side. But we are only showing a portion of a line. That kind of a thing is called a line segment. But the idea is that it is endless. Okay, that's what we mean by a line. Okay, very simple, very direct. Now let's look at the next item, which is now fold again. Any way you like, provided you intersect or cut the previous fold. So what I mean by that is, here's my previous fold. Remember this fold? So I'm going to open it. Now I'm going to fold it this way. Some random direction, doesn't matter. No, let's say I fold it like this. Any random direction you like. You will get a new line. Can you see that? Now again, I'm going to use a different pen to show the different line, but you can use the same pen if you like. And the trick is keep it kind of vertical and use the edge to draw this line. Right? The place where they cut, this is called a point. So I'm going to make that into a large dot. So now we have a definition of a point. So we have defined now what is meant by a line. We have now defined what is meant by a point. Know that we are going in reverse. As if you're taking usual geometry, they will talk to you about a point first. It's very hard to know what the heck a point is. Here it's very simple. Whenever two lines intersect, that intersection is called a point. Okay, that's it. Now the next most important item is an angle or a wedge. So I'm going to write this wedge. So this is going to be the region between two intersecting lines. What do I mean by that? This thing is called a wedge. I'm going to kind of color it a little bit. So can you see this region? That is called an angle. And remember, the lines go on forever. So the angle goes on forever. It's called an open figure. The reason why it's called an open figure is because it doesn't close up on itself. You see what I mean? It keeps going like that and it goes on forever like that. That's what we mean by a angle or a wedge. Now, an angle has three properties. This is the next item that I want to list. So every angle has three properties. It has a base, it has a slant and direction. What do I mean by that? So what we mean by that is the following. If you look at this angle, we are going to pick one of these lines and call it a base. So base. The other one is the slant, right? And everything depends upon this arrow, which tells you direction. It's also called orientation. So the first thing that an angle has is base, slant, and direction. So in our case, the direction is always going counterclockwise. And this side is called its mouth, and this is its apex or tip. So it's got many properties. Angle has a base, it has a slant, it has a direction, it has which is always counterclockwise. That is how we consider an angle. It's got a mouth, that's the opening side of it, and it's got an apex or tip. Okay, now let's try, and you can mark this for the other angles. How many angles are there? So it's obvious here that there are total of 4 angles when 2 lines cross. So the next one, for the next one, and I will show you. So this one goes like that. That's the next angle. So now the slant of the previous one now becomes the base for this one. And this is the slant. And this is the direction. Okay, and here is the mouth for this. The next one, again, this one becomes the base now. This is the slant. This is the direction. This is the mouth. And the last one, base, slant, direction. So can you see that if you go around this whole thing, remember we started like this, and as you go around this whole thing, you make a full circle. So that's how the directions are stacked. They will go around and around and make a full circle. Okay, so this is important. We will come back to this. This is it for lesson 1. So for lesson 1, we learned 3 items in folding. One which is called the line, which is obtained by folding up like this. By the way, technically a fold like this is called a valley fold. Because it goes like this. If you go the other way, this is called a mountain fold. You can see because it looks like a mountain. Can you see this one looks like a valley? So this is called a valley fold. This is called a mountain fold. So we are only doing valley folds. Okay, so valley fold, and then we draw a line. We draw another line, and then the intersection of them is called a point. And then the region between 2 lines is called a wedge or an angle. And the angle has several properties: base, slant, direction, mouth, tip, and so on. Okay, with that, our first lesson is done.